Connecticut is a state well known for its conservation efforts, and what better way to start a conservation story than with a steam engine? Here we are in old Saybrook, one of several of my old haunts, a place that can be considered beautiful, ordinary, picturesque, and mundane. I know this shoreline and its many rivers and their aged man-made structures and industrial landmarks as I know my own body. Today we are going to discuss the misguided and frankly diabolical plans to disrupt a few of these landmarks, namely the railroad bridges on the old New York, New Haven, and Hartford main line, as well as a fishing pier that is dear to me and a lot of the locals. To reach one of the bridges in question, we're going to take a fairly long run down this pier with the traction engine. The lead up to the bridge is a good long way, so I'll cut through it as to not draw it out. This little treasure is a Ransom's engine, 1/6 size, and belongs to my friend Codwood. Right, so here we are under said bridge. This structure is a century old, and it's been here doing its job for quite a long time, and they want to replace it, which is a very stupid and misguided idea, and of course all the monkey men are already here busily preparing to do that. So I don't think there's any way to stop it, really. There's certainly no willpower beyond a few concerned residents who know what they're looking at. But in order to understand the foolishness of Amtrak bridge replacement, I will regale you with an Amtrak story. They're currently doing this kind of vandalism to all the bridges on the shoreline. South Norwalk, I believe even Coscob Bridge. Don't know if they planned for Saugatuck yet, but this one. And the reason why it's a bad idea, first of all, is because if you get a structure like this, these bridges were commonly, at least the Pennsylvania Railroad, spec'd them for 600-year lifespans. And of course, they'd be good for longer than that. They all assumed that these bridges would get the proper maintenance. But I visited South Norwalk Bridge once upon a time not too long ago. I think it was 1 year or 2 years ago. And I met up with a bridge maintainer there. And we took a walk underneath South Norwalk Bridge. Is a swing bridge. And we took a look at the machinery. And I noticed that all of the bearings on the locks at the end of the bridge, which join up the ends to the piers so that the rails line up correctly and the bridge can't move, to the central bearings on the big chariot that turns the bridge, were all bone dry, no grease, no oil at all. And I said to the bridge maintainer, "When was the last time you lubricated these?" And he said, well, anyway, he said to me, "You're supposed to lubricate these?" And I looked at him, and I didn't really say anything else. And then I thanked him. You know, he showed me a couple more things, and I thanked him very much for the visit, and then I left. But you'll see all these stupid fucking news stories by lots of people who don't know what they're talking about, because when was the last time a journalist actually knew what they were talking about? All about the bridge failures and how they get stuck open, or how when they close them, the locks don't close, and then the interlocking that allows the railroad signals to turn green again doesn't operate correctly. And their answer is always because they're old. And it is not because they're old at all. It's because they're not maintained. The people looking after them are a bunch of chumps who don't know what regular lubrication of bearings and moving parts are. Or, for that matter, the finer points like the circuit relays that are connected to the interlocks that tell the railroad signal system when the bridge is actually closed. They have these little points in them, these mechanical relays or things like that, and you have to file and clean the points. And no one working for Amtrak knows how to do this anymore. But no one seems to know how to do this no matter where you go anymore, at least in the United States, which is why we are losing all of our correctly built infrastructure. No one understands how to maintain it, or that it can be maintained in perpetuity for possibly the next 1,000 years in many cases. So they're going to waste untold billions of dollars getting rid of these old bridges like this one, and get worse bridges out of the deal, which will absolutely not last 100 years or even 30 years in all likelihood, and the cycle of nonsense will continue. So this is one of many pleas I have made to stop the madness. Thank you for your time.